You know I'm right, live right here on the You Know I'm Right YouTube page. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese, and we want to welcome you back for another episode of You Know I'm Right Live, our 9th episode here. If you haven't already done so, make sure you follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at the YKIR podcast handle, and we're on TikTok and Facebook as well at You Know I'm Right podcast. Joe, how you doing, man?
We're good. It's raining out right now, so it's not great outside, but it's good in here.
It's good in here. It's always good when we're together talking, and it's a lot to talk about. So let's just touch on it real quick before we get into some good topics here. We're talking AEW All In. We're going to talk Big Brother, Ohtani's injury. We'll start with your Yankees, though. They finally snapped the 9-game losing streak.
Aaron Judge first 3 home run game. Yeah, they're really not in a good spot right now. You know, we don't have to keep beating a dead horse, but for the first time in a long time, they're under 500, and we're looking at a legitimate scenario where they clean house, and they should clean house. I think it's time for a fresh start for everybody.
Well, clean house, but I don't know what they're gonna do about the roster because they need to get some talent in there. So they're gonna have to sell off in order to get some pieces, I think, because they got to get younger.
Yeah. The two biggest things you could do is sell off who has value. So we mentioned Gleyber Torres, Clay Holmes, and then try to figure out how we could ditch some of the money. So in order to ditch contracts and dump them on somebody, you're going to have to eat a little bit of the money. So,
right.
But I think to eat a little bit of the money to get rid of most of it, I think that's kind of the strategy. And obviously the organization needs a fresh philosophy up top. So going to be a very interesting year or so. But I think if the Yankees do that, I think they can pivot. And
listen, Cashman did a press conference yesterday, and his body language and his outfit to me was like he was checked out and he's like ready to go to Hawaii. Like that's the way he was looking to me.
Well, I think he just needs a fresh start elsewhere.
I think he's coming back. I think he'll be back.
We'll see.
What's gonna happen? All right, that's enough Yankee talk for now. I mean, how depressing is it going to get here to start the show? Let's talk about the big show on Sunday afternoon. Wembley Stadium, AEW All In, and it's going to be big. And, of course, we are powered by StreamYard, and AEW is powered by, DraftKings or FanDuel. We were talking beforehand how it's crazy how you could bet the props here on AEW. I was thinking that Adam Copeland was going to make his AEW debut Sunday. He kind of poured some water on the fire, but who knows? Could be some smoke and mirrors. He's not going to be with the Blackpool Comic Club as Ortiz and Santana are. Who knows why? I don't really understand. A lot of matches here. Some of them might be good. Some of them, who really cares? Can we give you the match or matches you're most looking forward to?
Well, I'm actually very interested in the Stadium Stampede match because I just think in general that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think the build-up for the 2 world title matches, so we have the real world title match, and when I say real world title, I mean CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, and we have the match, and then we have the match for the AEW world title. So I think both the world title matches have had really strong builds. I think since Collision has debuted as AEW's Saturday show, it's definitely easily overtaken Rampage as their second best show. Debatably better than
quicker pace.
Absolutely. I like the pacing and the structure of that show a lot better. Well, you know how I feel about the Revival, over time, but the tag match will be a lot of fun. The crowd will be very, very
one of them was arrested. Might be facing some time here.
Yeah. Dax Harwood was arrested in Florida, but it seems like he'll be okay to make the show and everything, so that'll get sorted out. But I'm also interested in Jack Perry versus Hook for the FTW Championship because I like Hook. I think he's got a little bit something. They did something with Jungle Boy a couple months ago, where he turned heel. So I want to see how this plays out over time. We know Will Ospreay is fighting Chris Jericho. Will Ospreay had a tremendous match against Kenny Omega. It seems like that match, though, was just to utilize Chris Jericho's star power a little more efficiently. We have Fozzy, who's going to be performing.
That's going to be an epic. He's going to sing himself to the ring.
80,000
epic.
80,000 people singing along.
That alone makes me almost want to bet the pay-per-view. I'm not going to buy it, but that alone.
That's going to be one of the probably the best moment of the show.
I think that needs to start the main card.
I agree. Will Ospreay versus Jericho, with Jericho performing Judas with Fozzy, with the Wembley crowd, 80,000 people right out of the gate. I agree with you 1,000%. That's the way to start the show. You start it with something that's going to get the crowd going. It's going to be tremendous. But yeah, so the other matches are the Golden Elite against Hangman and Bullet Club Gold. And like I said, the 2 title matches should be good. And I think the build for MJF Adam Cole, even though it was kind of a little bit weird at first with the odd pairing friends thing that they're doing, over time, I think has become one of AEW's better stories since they actually started as a company. And I think a lot of people are kind of into it. It's been MJF's best program and feud since he won the championship. So it's a mixed bag because a lot of the matches I didn't necessarily agree with. I think, as the kids would say today, I think the card as of right now going into it was probably a little mid.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's lacking that. It's supposed to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time. It's lacking the big match feel.
Absolutely. There's one really
usually
match.
You get WrestleMania. It's stupendous. You get that at least 1 or 2 huge star power matches.
Right.
I think it's really missing Bryan Danielson.
Absolutely.
I think he will ultimately. He's not clear to wrestle, but he will help the Blackpool Combat Club win. I think he's gonna pop out or something, and he'll help them win. I think that's my prediction for that match.
I agree. I think the Danielson on this card, figuring out a way to mix him in somewhere would have been the right move. So hopefully he's okay with his injury. I think he'll probably be there, and even if he can't wrestle, I think he will be a part of the show in some capacity. 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium. I mean, you're gonna have to figure out how to get him on the show, but I think with that crowd, the atmosphere, the fact that a pro wrestling show is going there for the first time in a long time, and it's not even a WWE show, I think the crowd will really be into it. And it's like I said, even though the card is definitely a mid-level card without a really true big match, I think most of the crowd the whole night will be able to just elevate the show enough that it'll be memorable.
Talking about matches nobody cares about, how about someone nobody cares about, Swerve Strickland, who's saying WWE is regretting getting rid of me. Nobody cares that you're gone. Who cares about you in AEW? He's teaming AR Fox take on Darby Allin and Sting. I'm sure it's great to see Sting. I don't care about this match. I don't care about 3 to 4 people in this match. Maybe Nick Wayne gets involved. Sting's gonna get the victory. This might be his last match. But listen, I'm gonna give you my winners here. I'll go straight through the card, and you can do the same. And maybe I'm missing some matches. I'm looking at betting odds here. We always do the betting odds on I'm right. Nobody else does that for you. We're always here for you.
Yes.
The World Championship match, MJF is going to retain. We're heading towards a collision.
I disagree.
I think we're going to get MJF versus CM Punk.
Absolutely
not. The champ versus the real champ. No,
we're getting
that was the plan before CM Punk. Got hurt.
I think Adam Cole is going to win on Sunday.
Wow, big upset, plus 250.
Yep.
So I think they're going to lose the tag titles.
I think so too.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you have Adam Cole winning. Wow.
I have Adam Cole winning. Yep.
Okay, just clean.
I think
Roderick Strong's going to help him win. What do you think? Heel turn for Adam Cole. MJF stays face.
That's right. Undisputed Kingdom. I think this will be a case where they'll realign everybody. It'll be like a huge thing because I think a lot of people are expecting MJF to kind of just be who he is, right? That really like piece of, crap character. And I think they have a very interesting thing here. I think the Undisputed Kingdom thing will materialize. I think Cole is going to win. Cole is going to be the one to turn heel. Okay. I think they've kind of
MJF's going to stay face.
Yes. I think they've planted the seeds and I think they want most people.
I think Cole should go heel.
And I think they want most people to think that MJF is just going to be like, you know what? I'm the snake. I'm the garbage. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And he's going to stay the same. But I think this is where you test the waters here because MJF is super well liked even when he is a heel. And I think this could really be a huge test for him to see just how big of a star he could be. We know he's a great heel. I don't know if he's your number one guy, But to see where he goes as a face, I think it's interesting, and I think Adam Cole will win the world title on Sunday.
So I don't know where MJF goes from there because I thought they were going to do MJF for CM Punk. So a real champ, or unless they got to do some sort of match here between the real champ and the fake champ. I would think, or at least have the Dynamite champ and the Collision champ.
I think that's something that you can visit down the line.
There's a huge elephant in the room here, Joe. Well, that's where the hell's Wardlow? I thought we were going to end up with Wardlow taking the championship for MJF, but they completely are botching this guy. I really hope Wardlow goes to WWE. I hope they can do something with him there, but I don't know. I don't know about Wardlow at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we agree on this. AEW has not really booked its bigger stars. And when I say bigger, I mean like size-wise. I mean, the bigger guys, they just have absolutely no idea what to do with. And when you look at a guy like Wardlow, it's like, sure, is he the best promo? Not really. He's solid, though. He gets his character across. He's got presence to him, which is the most important thing. So when I'm looking at a guy like him, I'm thinking, like, here's AEW's version of, like, Goldberg or Batista. Right, I was going to say Batista next. Like, you got to figure out how to use this guy. Make him into a star. If you can't make a guy like this who has the ingredients and you kind of see that raw talent already, if you can't make him a star, that's a problem.
Yeah, I'll see. I want to see who's going to be the second person to defect to WWE.
Right.
We know Cody did. Somebody, they got to take a shot at one of these younger guys, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if MJF makes the move next year. Who knows? All right, next match, the women's four-way. Right now, Shida is the favorite to retain. Saraya is second favorite. Close odds there. She's 5-4. In her home country, Britt Baker is plus 400. Toni Storm's plus 550. The other Britt. I think Britt Baker should win, but
they're all plus odds, which means nobody knows how this match is going to go.
I would gotta assume. I mean, I would say Saraya should win, right? But who knows? Because Bryan Danielson didn't come in and win a championship, so I have no clue. Britt Baker. All I know is Britt Baker is the most over of the four of them, and Jade Cargill's missing, and she needs to come back a feud with Britt Baker at some point for the main championship. But are they going to go with Saraya to win this match?
I agree. This is one of those things where I really, truly don't think that they have a winner set in stone right now. And I think the idea of having Saraya get that one big AEW win and doing it here where 80,000 people will likely cheer for her. Let's be real.
Sure.
So give her the big moment. I don't know. Is
everybody going to say DMD when the Britt Baker comes out there?
Yes,
it's going to be a big DMD pop.
Britt Baker
mega fireworks, mega,
absolutely.
like Ricky Starks level when he came on Collision.
Yes,
after he beat CM Punk.
Absolutely,
that should be good. Now the next match, I don't care about the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. I don't care for the Young Bucks. I don't like FTR. I thought they wasted the Hardy Boys doing versus the Young Bucks on Dynamite. They should have been in this match. You could have did a triple threat. Do you agree or disagree?
Of course I agree.
Right. So just do a throwaway match on Dynamite. Are you kidding me? It's so stupid. The Young Bucks are going to win. It's the execs. They want their championships again. And also with the legal issues of FTR, they got to get the titles off those guys. Right. By the way, FTR, they faced Bullet Club Gold on Collision a few weeks ago when it was Jay White and Juice Robinson versus them for the tag titles. They should have had Juice Robinson and Jay White win the titles then. So a 45-minute match, which was pretty incredible. I think the Young Bucks are going to win.
No, I think so too. And I think it'll primarily be because of Dak's legal issues. And they don't want the idea of something happening with him and he's going to get pulled away. And what are you going to do at that point? You're going to relinquish the tag titles? So I think the safest decision here is to have the Bucks win. But again, both these teams are very well liked. I've never really loved the Revival so much. The Bucks to me have always been there. They're super athletic and they're solid.
The Young Bucks are going to win.
The crowd will be into this match. They'll be good. The Bucks will win.
A lot of flips, a lot of flops, and
a lot of super kicks.
And Meltzer's going to be there. Dave Meltzer will be there.
Yep.
So
maybe
they'll show him on camera. CM Punk's going to win. Samoa Joe, I'd like to see him win. He's not going to. No need to discuss. CM Punk's going to win. Ospreay, Jericho. Is Jericho going to put Ospreay over in his home country? He is.
Yes. Ospreay again. This
he's not part of AEW. They're really going to.
You know what prime match needs to open the show, and we couldn't have been more aligned on this. Like, if they don't open with this match, it's so stupid. They're so silly. This is the exact thing that they need to get the crowd going. Will Ospreay winning in his home country would be tremendous. The performance with Ozzy would be tremendous. Jericho has just enough left. So we saw at the last pay-per-view, we saw a good match with Ricky Starks, who has since attacked Ricky Steamboat and kind of turned heel. And I love Ricky Starks. I think he's a superstar. But yeah, Ospreay winning here is the correct decision. Give him that nice hometown pop to start the show.
All right. We said Sam Stampede. We said the Black Hole Conqueror is going to win because of Brian Danielson. Golden Elite versus the Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita. I think the Golden Elite is going to win. But I'm not really too much into this match. And I don't really understand the Callis family. It keeps growing. And there's no backstory as to why these people are joining the Callis family. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, the Don Callis thing is like, woo.
He's a heat magnet.
It's amazing, right? Like,
imagine if he managed Dom Mysterio.
He is one of the, like, every time he's on screen, it's like a Dom Mysterio thing. It's just like the crowd hates him. So I think they've kind of recognized what to do with him. You know, he's like one of their better like characters. So yeah, I mean, I think everything about this is great to me.
All right. So next up here, Shohei Ohtani is hurt. What's that going to do for his free agency value in the offseason? It's going to take off at least 150, 200 million, I think.
Well, I never really once thought that he was going to get like $500 million because who's got $500 million to spend on a player?
The Dodgers, what I mean? Steve Cohen. The Yankees do. They won't.
They won't spend it, but you're really going to shell out all that money? Because again, it's like you can spend the money, but it's like somebody's got to be going out or two players got to be going out, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just like spend $500 million on a player on top of having a $300 million payroll. It doesn't work like that, right? So, but the more important thing here is what I was telling you before. It seems like baseball has issues lately with some of their biggest guys getting hurt, right? So we've seen this in the last couple of years with a guy like Ronald Acuna. We've seen this with Aaron Judge. Now we're seeing it with Shohei Ohtani, and I think he was a little more prone to doing it only because he's the super stud player who could pitch, who could hit 35, 40 home runs a year. So just having this injury in any way, like it sucks. You know what I mean? Like you wanted 5 healthy years out of this guy, and I don't even know if you're going to get 2 or 3.
We'll see. I think it's going to be interesting to see if this maybe allows more teams to bid on him on lesser term deals.
Right.
Or if he keeps his value up.
It's so silly that the Angels just didn't move him.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, last thing here. Big brother, Felicia Savage, Joe.
Amazing. She's a super fan. I believe she's 60 years old, right? So she's one of the older house guests. So we've seen through the years that sometimes the older house guests like aren't really competing in competitions as much. But she was able to compete this week. I think in terms of strategy, she had a really terrific week. She had the house on the same page. I think everybody likes her. And when we look back on the season, we're going to probably be looking at this particular moment as the eviction of the season, just because of the way Heisam played early on.
They did him dirty on the edit with the diary room stuff. They set him up.
They set him up real good. But that makes for great TV. You know what I mean? And it's like every year in the early stages of the game, you know, I've said this multiple times here on this live stream. The worst thing that I hate is the early weeks of the season when you have the evictions go where one house goes the entire whole way. That's not how it used to be. But in this case, when you have a blindside this good with a guy who I think if you would have kept him in the house would have been a competitor, would have been able to, like, even if he was on the block a couple of times, would have been had the resolve to be able to win competitions, veto competitions, and take himself off the block. So in order to pull off a blindside this good, like, kudos to the strategy part of the game. Kudos to Felicia as an older super fan. You know, she gets her moment in the sun. Even if she doesn't win the game, she'll always be able to say, I went on Big Brother. I lived out my dream. And not only that, I won HOH and I had one of the better.
Took out the biggest threat.
Right. It's great.
Heisam, I mean, he would have, if he was in that HOH, he was probably not going to try to win.
Right.
But that was something he could definitely win. He's the most in shape out of anybody
Absolutely.
And it was embarrassing to watch Felicia in that competition.
Absolutely.
And Corey continues with his strong social game.
Right.
Honestly, we both want America Lopez to win. We got to see a little more from her as far as how her interacting with other people. And Matt, everyone's thinking he's a big threat. We got to see how these people do in the upcoming HOH, where they got a lot to prove.
Absolutely. We haven't seen a couple of our favorites who, again, when you go to the Jokers and you go to the Big Brother rankings and you go to Twitter and Reddit, a lot of people kind of like the same house guests that we do, right? America, Corey, Matt. Corey got a great edit this week. In order to go along with that, you got to have a little fun. That's not something that I think a lot of people would want to do if they were in the house, but he had fun with it. It made for good TV. So a lot of the guys and girls that we like, America.
You think Corey is like the youngest contestant ever? I mean, I don't even think he's 21.
I don't think. No. I would really have to go back and kind of.
He looks so young.
He does. I think he's 21.
He's a
21, right? Right. I think he's 21.
Maybe that's the rule. You got to be 21.
I told you, I think they've been 21-year-olds in the house before. Because again, with the whole when they get alcohol and stuff and the drinking, I think you have to be 21. Can't be younger than that. So,
all right, we'll see. This has been a quick show, a good show though. Yes. More to come next week. And as I said at the top, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. And we got some good upcoming regular podcast episodes as well. Some former professional athletes are going to be joining us.
Yes.
Promise to try to get some wrestling guests in the future as well. And as these house guests get evicted, they'll slowly make their way over to You Know I'm Right and discuss what went wrong. But that's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right Live, 9th episode 4. My co-host Joe Calabrese. I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right Live.